But for me personally, I think one of the things that shaped me most that was so difficult was my last year as a full-time classroom teacher. So 2005, I had one of those classes that they were just such a joy. They collaborated, they loved each other, they supported each other, they were excited to learn, and just a great group of kids. And I remember playing the big kickball game with them on the last day of school. And then in July, I got a call from one of my students' moms. So Zach Tucker, beautiful little boy, super athletic, full of joy. And she said, "Did you notice anything funny about Zach at the end of the year?" And I said, "No, Sherry, like he played kickball, he was reading, he was silly as usual." And she said, "He's suddenly having trouble tying his shoe. And I noticed when he's swimming laps with the swim team in the pool, he's veering off to the side, which is not like him." So she took him to the doctor, lots of tests. He had a brain tumor that turned out to be cancer, was really aggressive and fast paced. So we watched him fight it with such optimism and strength. And then I became the assistant principal that fall. So stayed connected with that family. This was a little neighborhood school, and we lost him in May. So it happened in about 10 months. It was really fast and really hard. And as the AP, trying to lead people who are grieving and grieving myself was really a challenge. And I think for a while, I just had to sort of process it. I was pretty angry. I think we all were. How could this happen to this little boy? Why did it happen? And over time, I had to realize my human understanding could never process a why. There is no why. And it's not for me to understand at this point. And so over time, just practicing acceptance and loving that family and loving my school family. And then probably a few months in processing that, I could finally start reflecting on that. And the question I had to ask myself was, if I had known that this would have been his last year in school, the year he spent with me, what would I have done differently as a teacher?
Wow.
And really thought about the kinds of things I did with my kids instructionally, but also, did I really look at him? Like in the morning when he came into the classroom, our minds are so busy. Like, did I really stop and enjoy this kid and appreciate him? I mean, I loved him, but was I really present with this little guy? If I had known, what would I have done? And then also having to think, if next year's not promised to this healthy 7-year-old, next year's not promised to any of us. And so we have to make the most of the time that we had. But I also learned so much from his family. I mean, it's unimaginable as parents for Sherry and Dirk, and he's the same age as my daughter. So, there was that piece of it too. But I ran into Sherry in the fall, and she said, "I'm struggling with whether or not I hang his stocking at Christmas." They celebrate Christmas. And I hadn't thought about things like that. Like, what do you do as a mom this first holiday season? So she decided, okay, I will hang his stocking, but I'll collect gift cards for other families who are dealing with cancer. So as a school, we helped her raise funds for that. And then I watched her take this tragedy and make it such a way to impact other families and serve other families and turn it into something so beautiful.